In times of uncertainty and despair, many turn to prayer as a means of seeking comfort, strength, and guidance. One such powerful and deeply emotional prayer is the prayer of desperation, which calls upon Saint Anthony, the patron saint of miracles and lost causes. Welcome to Timeless Prayer. This prayer, in particular, is not only a request for divine intervention, but also a plea to bind a person's heart and mind with love and devotion through the symbolic act of tying them with 7 knots. The number 7 is often regarded as sacred in many spiritual traditions, symbolizing completeness, divine intervention, and the power to manifest deep desires. Saint Anthony, known for his extraordinary ability to perform miracles and restore hope, is sought after by those who are struggling in matters of the heart. The prayer reflects a deep yearning for affection, commitment, and understanding. It's not just about asking for someone's love, it's about requesting a divine force to shape their thoughts, judgments, and will, guiding them toward the person praying with sincerity and faith. As one recites the prayer, the act of tying the 7 knots serves as a powerful metaphor for binding a person's heart, thoughts, and spirit, ensuring their love and attention are forever directed toward the one who prays. This powerful prayer is meant to be repeated over the course of 7 days, with each knot representing a step toward achieving the deep connection desired. It is a combination of faith, devotion, and ritual, making it a profound experience for those who seek help in love and relationships. Saint Anthony's intercession is believed to be a beacon of hope, offering solace to those who feel lost and desperate, guiding them toward a future filled with love, peace, and mutual understanding. In this article, we will explore the words of this prayer, its significance, and how to perform the ritual correctly, allowing you to harness its full potential to manifest your heart's deepest wishes. Saint Anthony of Padua, a renowned 13th century Franciscan friar, is one of the most beloved saints in Christianity, particularly for his association with miracles and divine intercession. His story is one that has captivated the hearts of millions around the world, making him not only a spiritual figure but also a symbol of hope and comfort for those who seek his assistance in times of need, known as the patron saint of lost causes. Saint Anthony's reputation has transcended time, becoming synonymous with helping people find lost things, whether physical objects, lost hopes, or even lost relationships. His ability to perform miracles and his deep connection to both God and humanity have made him a figure of immense significance in the Catholic faith and beyond. Born in Lisbon, Portugal. In 1195, Saint Anthony initially entered the Augustinian order before he became a member of the Franciscan order. He was deeply committed to a life of simplicity, humility, and service, which formed the foundation of his legacy. Throughout his life, Saint Anthony was known for his unwavering faith, his eloquence in preaching, and his ability to perform miraculous deeds. His mission was always clear: to bring the love and teachings of Christ to the world, especially to those who were suffering or in need of guidance. The miracles attributed to him were often acts of healing, but many were also deeply personal, such as restoring lost relationships, resolving conflicts, or bringing peace to troubled hearts. One of the reasons why Saint Anthony has remained such a prominent figure in the Christian tradition is his reputation as a powerful intercessor. An intercessor, in religious terms, is someone who prays or mediates on behalf of others. Saint Anthony's ability to intercede for those in desperate need of help has made him a beacon of hope for people who are facing difficult situations in their lives. His deep connection to God and his profound understanding of human suffering made him an ideal intercessor for anyone in distress. Whether the issue was related to physical health, emotional struggles, or personal relationships. This role as an intercessor has contributed greatly to the devotion that many people feel toward him. People who pray to Saint Anthony often find solace in the belief that he will intercede on their behalf, helping them find answers, peace, or resolution to their problems. The devotion to Saint Anthony is not limited to a specific group of people or geographical region. It spans across cultures and nations. His feast day on June 13th is celebrated in many parts of the world, especially in Catholic communities. During this time, churches hold special masses in his honor, and many people come together to pray for his intercession, especially in times of crisis or personal need. It is common for individuals to make offerings or perform acts of charity in Saint Anthony's name, seeking his help for various personal requests. The widespread nature of this devotion highlights the universality of Saint Anthony's role as a figure of mercy, compassion, and divine intervention. One of the key reasons why Saint Anthony has remained so significant in Catholicism is his association with the restoration of relationships and the reconciliation of love. In addition to helping people find lost items, Saint Anthony is often called upon to help resolve conflicts in personal relationships, particularly in matters of love. It is no surprise that many people turn to him when they are seeking to reconcile with a partner, find love, or overcome the challenges of romantic relationships. The belief in his ability to heal broken hearts and bring people together in love has led to the development of many prayers and rituals dedicated to him, including the Prayer of Desperation, which is designed to help individuals achieve a deep connection with the person they love. Saint Anthony's miracles often involved restoring relationships that had been severed, whether due to misunderstanding, betrayal, or distance. These miraculous acts have solidified his role as a protector of relationships and a helper for those who feel lost or disconnected from the ones they love. It is said that those who turn to Saint Anthony with a sincere heart, asking for his help in love and relationships, often find themselves experiencing a deep sense of clarity, understanding, and resolution in their situations. This belief in Saint Anthony's power to heal and restore love makes him a central figure in the lives of many who are facing challenges in their personal relationships. Moreover, Saint Anthony's role as the patron saint of lost causes resonates deeply with people who are going through difficult times, particularly those who feel like they have lost hope. In many ways, the notion of a lost cause can be a metaphor for any situation where someone feels helpless or uncertain about the future, whether it's a lost job, a broken relationship, or a personal struggle. Saint Anthony's ability to restore hope to the hopeless has made him an enduring symbol of faith and perseverance. People often pray to him when they feel that all avenues have been exhausted and they are desperate for a solution. His ability to perform miracles in such dire circumstances offers a sense of comfort and reassurance that, no matter how difficult the situation may seem, there is always hope. The powerful connection that people feel toward Saint Anthony is rooted in his humility and his deep empathy for human suffering. He was not only a man of great spiritual wisdom, but also someone who understood the challenges of everyday life. This empathy, combined with his divine closeness to God, has made him a powerful figure for anyone in need. Saint Anthony's intercession has been credited with helping countless individuals in their darkest moments, offering them not only hope, but also a sense of divine presence and love. Saint Anthony's legacy as a saint, miracle worker, and intercessor continues to be a source of comfort and inspiration for millions around the world. His ability to help with lost causes, heal relationships, and provide guidance in times of distress makes him a figure of immense spiritual significance. His life's work and the miracles attributed to him have left an indelible mark on the Catholic Church and continue to inspire people of all backgrounds to turn to him in times of need. Through his powerful intercession, Saint Anthony remains a beloved figure who brings peace, hope, and restoration to those who seek his help. Especially in matters of the heart and relationships, his influence will continue to be felt for generations to come, as people find solace and strength in his prayers and miracles. The practice of binding with 7 knots in prayer is a deeply symbolic and spiritual act, often associated with rituals that invoke both divine intervention and mystical power. The concept of binding, tying something together or restraining it, is a powerful metaphor in many religious and spiritual traditions, in the context of the prayer of desperation to Saint Anthony. The act of tying 7 knots represents a profound spiritual and emotional connection, especially in matters of love, desire, and human relationships. The number 7, long considered sacred across various cultures and faiths, adds a layer of divine significance to this ritual, enhancing its meaning and its potential to manifest the desires of the faithful. To begin understanding the significance of this practice, it is important to recognize the role of the number 7 in spiritual symbolism. Throughout history, the number 7 has been revered for its association with completeness, perfection, and divine intervention. In the Bible, the number 7 appears frequently, symbolizing the completion of divine creation, as in the 7 days of creation and the fulfillment of divine promises. In many religious traditions, 7 is considered a number that signifies wholeness or the culmination of a spiritual journey. The binding of 7 knots in the prayer to Saint Anthony serves as a physical manifestation of this sacred number, symbolizing the completion of the petitioner's request and the fulfillment of their desire. Each knot in the ritual holds a distinct meaning. As the petitioner recites the prayer, they tie a knot in the ribbon, and with each knot they call upon Saint Anthony to intervene in their specific request. The first knot represents the beginning of the journey, an initial plea for help, an expression of faith, and a clear desire for divine assistance. The act of tying the first knot is symbolic of the opening of a channel between the petitioner and Saint Anthony, establishing the spiritual connection that will guide the prayer's journey. It is an act of surrender, where the individual places their trust in the saint's power to bring about a positive outcome. The knots, each one progressively tied with each repetition of the prayer, reflect the unfolding of divine will as Saint Anthony's intervention begins to take form. The second and third knots further deepen the connection and spiritual energy of the prayer. With each subsequent knot, the petitioner is actively engaging with the ritual, focusing their mind, heart, and intentions on their request. This practice is not a passive one. It requires intention, effort, and a clear focus on the desire for love, attention, or resolution. As the person ties each knot, they are symbolically working through the barriers and challenges that might stand in the way of their desires, whether those barriers are emotional, psychological, or physical. The process of tying each knot is not only a physical act, but also a mental and emotional one, as the petitioner contemplates their deepest hopes and wishes for the future. The fourth and fifth knots serve to reinforce the spiritual commitment of the prayer. As the person continues the ritual, they are reminded that their desires are worthy of attention, and they are encouraged to remain patient and persistent in their faith. These knots symbolize the growing strength of the prayer, representing a steadfast belief that divine intervention is imminent. The deeper the individual commits to their prayer, and the more they focus on Saint Anthony's power to heal, guide, and restore, the greater the power of the knots they are tying. At this stage, the ritual may begin to feel more like a transformative process, where the petitioner is not only asking for help, but also actively participating in the creation of the desired outcome. the act of binding becomes a sacred act of self-discipline as the individual works toward a greater connection with their own desires and with the divine. The 6th and 7th knots are the culmination of the ritual. These final knots represent the completion of the prayer and the ultimate manifestation of the individual's desires. With the 7th knot, the circle is closed, symbolizing the final binding of the request. At this point, the individual has offered their complete trust and devotion to Saint Anthony, and they are now preparing to receive the divine grace that they have asked for. The act of closing the circle with the 7th knot represents the fulfillment of the prayer, an act of completion, and a moment of divine acknowledgement. This is the moment when the individual releases any remaining doubts or hesitations, allowing themselves to fully surrender to the power of faith. The closing of the circle is not just a physical act of tying a knot, but also a spiritual moment of acceptance. The individual has made their petition, and now they must wait with patience, trusting that their prayer will be answered in accordance with divine will. The ritual itself, while deeply personal and emotional, is also an act of surrender. By tying the knots, the individual is acknowledging that they cannot control the outcome, but must place their faith in Saint Anthony's intercession. This step teaches the petitioner to let go of anxiety and to trust that the results, whatever they may be, will bring them closer to divine truth and understanding. The act of tying the 7 knots is not merely a ritual. It is a reflection of the deeper spiritual process of growth, surrender, and trust. Each knot tied represents a step closer to the realization of the petitioner's desires. Whether those desires are related to love, affection, reconciliation, or personal transformation, the ritual becomes a form of spiritual discipline, reinforcing the idea that divine intervention requires not just asking, but also a willing participation in the process of transformation. It is an act of faith that transcends the physical act of tying a knot, touching the heart and soul of the petitioner and guiding them toward a deeper understanding of their own spiritual journey. Additionally, the use of a red ribbon in this ritual further enhances the symbolism of the binding. Red, often associated with love, passion, and vitality, signifies the strength and energy of the request. It symbolizes the passionate desire for connection and the power of emotional ties. The red ribbon, when tied with each knot, represents the emotional force of the prayer, bringing the petitioner closer to their desired outcome with every step. The practice of binding with 7 knots in the prayer of desperation is a deeply symbolic and transformative ritual. Each knot tied represents a step in the spiritual process, with the number 7 serving as a sacred marker of divine completion and fulfillment. As the petitioner moves through the ritual, they are reminded of their faith, patience, and devotion. Through this practice, they not only seek Saint Anthony's intercession but also engage in a spiritual journey of self-discovery, surrender, and trust. The act of binding, both physically and spiritually, serves as a profound reminder that true change requires both faith and effort, and that divine grace is always available to those who seek it with a sincere heart. The prayer of desperation to Saint Anthony holds a profound significance for those seeking not just divine intervention in their lives, but specifically for the restoration of love, affection, and emotional connection. Love, in its many forms, is one of the most powerful and deeply rooted human desires. Whether it is romantic love, the love of family, or the longing for emotional connection and mutual understanding, the pursuit of love is often filled with challenges and uncertainties. For many people, turning to spiritual practices and prayers becomes a way to navigate the complexities of human relationships, especially when they feel lost or disconnected from those they care about. In this context, the prayer to Saint Anthony is not just an ordinary plea for assistance, it is a heartfelt request to guide and mend relationships that seem broken, uncertain, or distant. At the heart of this prayer lies the desire to bind the heart, thoughts, and will of the person being prayed for. Whether it's a partner, a potential lover, or someone with whom a relationship has faltered. The ultimate goal is to rekindle the love and attention of that person, bringing them closer to the one who is praying. This prayer focuses on a deeply personal need, the need for mutual love, recognition, and affection. The idea of binding someone with love and devotion through the power of prayer is not merely about gaining someone's attention for selfish purposes. It reflects a yearning for a deeper connection, a bond that goes beyond superficial attraction or fleeting emotions. It's about creating a relationship that is grounded in sincerity, trust, and mutual understanding. The importance of seeking St. Anthony's intercession in matters of the heart is rooted in his reputation as a powerful figure who restores lost relationships and brings peace to troubled minds. As the patron saint of lost causes, St. Anthony is seen as someone who can bring solutions to situations that seem hopeless. For individuals who are experiencing heartache, longing, or separation from someone they love, St. Anthony's power to heal and restore can provide both solace and hope. The prayer specifically asks St. Anthony to guide the thoughts, mind, judgment, and will of the person being prayed for, making it an act of surrender where the petitioner places their complete trust in the saint's ability to restore harmony and balance in their relationships. The prayer acknowledges that the petitioner cannot control the feelings or decisions of others, but by invoking the power of St. Anthony, they hope to influence the situation and create the conditions for love to grow and thrive. One of the most important aspects of this prayer is its focus on faith and patience. Love, as the prayer reflects, is not something that can be forced or controlled. It is a complex emotion that takes time to nurture and develop. By asking St. Anthony to intervene and guide the hearts and minds of both parties, the petitioner is also asked to trust in the divine timing and wisdom of the saint. There is a recognition that the journey toward love may not always be immediate or linear, but the prayer encourages perseverance in the belief that divine help will eventually bring about the desired outcome. The act of praying with persistence, particularly over the course of 7 consecutive days, serves as a reminder that love is not something that can be rushed or manipulated. It must be allowed to grow naturally, nurtured by patience and unwavering faith. The desire for love is deeply intertwined with the human need for connection and belonging. Relationships, whether romantic or otherwise, have the power to shape a person's emotional well-being and sense of purpose in life. When someone feels disconnected from the one they love or is uncertain about the future of their relationship, it can lead to profound feelings of loneliness, sadness, and despair. The prayer to St. Anthony addresses this emotional void, offering a sense of hope and spiritual support to individuals who are struggling with unrequited love, misunderstandings, or feelings of abandonment. In this sense, the prayer becomes more than just a request. It is an act of emotional healing, a means of reaching out to a higher power for comfort and guidance during difficult times. Furthermore, this prayer highlights the belief that love, in its purest form, is not just about one person's desires, but about the well-being of both individuals involved. By asking for the intercession of St. Anthony, the petitioner is seeking not only to bring someone back into their life, but also to ensure that the relationship is built on love that is sincere, true, and stable. This reflects a deeper understanding of love as a mutual exchange rather than a one-sided desire. It is a call for both parties to experience love in its most fulfilling form, where both give and receive, trust and understand, and find peace and happiness together. In addition, The prayer's power lies in its simplicity and clarity. Unlike complex rituals or elaborate ceremonies, the prayer of desperation is straightforward and accessible. It doesn't require specific knowledge of sacred texts or complicated practices. Instead, it focuses on the purity of the petitioner's intent, the sincerity of their heart, and the clarity of their desire. This simplicity makes the prayer not only powerful, but also inclusive, as anyone, regardless of their spiritual background or level of knowledge, can engage in the act of prayer and trust in its transformative power. The prayer of desperation to Saint Anthony serves as a beacon of hope for individuals seeking love and emotional connection. It is a deeply personal plea that transcends mere desire and touches on the core human need for affection, understanding, and mutual respect. By invoking Saint Anthony's intercession, the petitioner asks for divine help in overcoming the barriers to love, whether they be emotional, spiritual, or relational. This prayer is a reminder that love requires faith, patience, and trust, qualities that, when combined with prayer, have the power to bring about lasting change and restore harmony to the heart. Through this prayer, individuals not only seek the affection of a loved one, but also strengthen their own belief in the power of divine intervention and the importance of love in its most pure and enduring form. The ritual of tying 7 knots while saying the prayer of desperation to Saint Anthony is a spiritual and symbolic act that combines faith, intention, and dedication. This unique practice not only requires the recitation of heartfelt prayers, but also incorporates a physical component, tying a ribbon in 7 distinct knots. Each knot represents a step in the journey toward the fulfillment of the prayer's request, which is typically related to love, emotional healing, or bringing 2 hearts closer together. Understanding how to properly perform this ritual is essential for those who wish to engage with it meaningfully, as it is a process that involves both spiritual and symbolic actions. To begin the ritual, it is important to gather the necessary materials. The most essential item is a red ribbon, which is often chosen for its association with love, passion, and vitality. Red is a color that symbolizes emotional strength and the power of connection, making it an ideal choice for a ritual meant to bind 2 hearts together. The ribbon should be of a sufficient length to allow for 7 knots, and it is important that the ribbon is tied with intention, care, and focus. In addition to the ribbon, a candle is typically used, usually a red candle, though a white one can also be used as an alternative. The candle represents light, guidance, and spiritual energy, and it serves as a focal point during the prayer, allowing the individual to concentrate on their intentions. The first step of the ritual is to prepare the space where the prayer will take place. It is important to choose a quiet, calm environment free from distractions. This space should be conducive to reflection and prayer, allowing the individual to focus entirely on their intention and the act of seeking divine assistance. Some people prefer to light the candle before starting, creating a sense of sacredness and setting the tone for the ritual. Others may choose to light the candle as part of the prayer process itself, using the act of lighting the candle as a symbol of opening a path for Saint Anthony's intercession. Once the space is prepared, the individual can begin the prayer by reciting the words with sincere devotion. It is important to approach the prayer with a focused mind and an open heart. As the person begins to speak the words of the prayer, they will hold the red ribbon in their hands, ready to tie the first knot. Each time the name of the person for whom the prayer is being said is mentioned, the petitioner will tie 1 knot in the ribbon. The first knot marks the beginning of the petition, a request for divine help, guidance, and intervention in matters of love. It is an act of surrender, where the individual places their hopes and desires in the hands of Saint Anthony, trusting that the saint will help bring their prayer to fruition. As the prayer progresses, the petitioner will continue tying knots, one for each mention of the loved one's name. Each knot serves as both a physical and symbolic representation of the bond between the petitioner and the person they seek to draw closer. The act of tying the knots is not simply a mechanical task, it is an emotional and spiritual process, a way for the individual to focus their intentions and desires. With each knot, the petitioner's connection to the person they are praying for becomes stronger, and their faith in the prayer deepens. The second and third knots are tied as the petitioner continues to recite the prayer. Each time the name of the person is spoken, the petitioner's focus should intensify, concentrating on their deep desire for that person's love, attention, and devotion. This part of the ritual is about setting the foundation for the relationship, whether it's the renewal of a current relationship or the creation of a new one. As the knots are tied, the individual should visualize the emotional connection between themselves and the other person growing stronger. The prayer becomes a way of shaping reality, calling upon St. Anthony to guide both hearts toward a deeper, more meaningful connection. The fourth and fifth knots serve as moments of reinforcement in the ritual. By now, the individual has committed to the process, and each knot serves to solidify their resolve. This stage of the ritual is about reaffirming the prayer's intentions, ensuring that the individual remains steadfast in their hope and belief that St. Anthony will bring about the desired results. As these knots are tied, it's essential for the person to remain patient and trusting, understanding that the process may take time. The prayer is an invitation for St. Anthony's help, but it is also a call for the petitioner to embody perseverance and faith. The sixth and seventh knots represent the culmination of the prayer. The seventh knot, in particular, is the most significant, as it symbolizes the completion of the cycle. It is the final step in binding the two hearts together, creating a strong, unbreakable connection between the petitioner and the one they love. At this point in the ritual, the prayer has reached its peak, and the individual's trust in St. Anthony should be unwavering. The act of tying the seventh knot is a moment of completion, a symbolic act of faith that the prayer has been heard and will be answered. Once the 7 knots have been tied, the individual should complete the ritual by tying the ends of the ribbon together, thus closing the circle. The ribbon is now bound, just as the person's love and desire are bound to the one they seek. The candle, which has been burning throughout the prayer, should be left to burn out completely. This symbolizes the release of the petition and the completion of the ritual. The act of leaving the candle to burn down to its end is a sign of trust, allowing the energy and intentions of the prayer to be fully released into the universe. The ritual should be repeated for 7 consecutive days to allow the energy to build and the prayer to gain strength. Each repetition of the prayer and the tying of the knots serves to reinforce the petition and deepen the petitioner's faith in St. Anthony's power to help. In conclusion, the ritual of tying 7 knots while saying the prayer of desperation to St. Anthony is a meaningful and transformative practice. It is an act of faith, devotion, and emotional engagement, where the petitioner combines both prayer and ritual to seek divine assistance in love and relationships. By following the steps carefully and with sincerity, the individual invites St. Anthony's intercession into their life, trusting that their desires will be fulfilled in divine time. The act of seeking divine help through prayer requires not only faith, but also persistence, especially when it comes to matters of the heart. The prayer of desperation to St. Anthony, like many spiritual practices, calls for a deep level of trust and an unwavering belief that divine intervention is possible. One of the key aspects of this ritual is the emphasis on persistence, performing the prayer for 7 consecutive days without interruption. This commitment is not merely a formality. It is a demonstration of faith, patience, and the understanding that true change, especially in matters of love and relationships, often takes time. Saint Anthony, renowned for his ability to intercede in difficult situations, has long been regarded as a powerful advocate for those in need. His intercession is believed to bring about miraculous results, particularly when all hope seems lost. However, the key to experiencing the full potential of his aid is persistence. The 7-day ritual is a way of showing Saint Anthony that the petitioner's desire is not fleeting but rooted in genuine need and faith. Each day that the prayer is recited and the knots are tied represents a deepening of the petitioner's trust in the saint's power and a reinforcement of their commitment to the outcome they seek. Trusting in Saint Anthony's power also means understanding that the timing of the prayer's fulfillment may not align with the petitioner's own expectations. Divine intervention operates according to a higher plan, and while persistence is important, it is equally vital to allow space for divine timing to work its course. This is where trust comes in. By consistently praying and tying the knots, the petitioner is surrendering their desires into Saint Anthony's hands, trusting that the saint will guide their hearts and bring about the desired result in the most appropriate way and time. Persistence and trust are essential components of the prayer to Saint Anthony. By committing to the ritual with patience, individuals demonstrate their faith in the saint's ability to intercede on their behalf. The 7-day practice is a testament to one's devotion. And by trusting in the saint's wisdom and power, individuals open themselves to divine assistance, knowing that Saint Anthony will answer their call in his own perfect timing. Trusting in Saint Anthony's power also means understanding that the timing of the prayer's fulfillment may not align with the petitioner's own expectations. Divine intervention operates according to a higher plan, and while persistence is important, it is equally vital to allow space for divine timing to work its course. This is where trust comes in, by consistently praying and tying the knots. The petitioner is surrendering their desires into Saint Anthony's hands, trusting that the saint will guide their hearts and bring about the desired result in the most appropriate way and time. Persistence and trust are essential components of the prayer to Saint Anthony. By committing to the ritual with patience, individuals demonstrate their faith in the saint's ability to intercede on their behalf. The 7-day practice is a testament to one's devotion, and by trusting in the saint's wisdom and power, individuals open themselves to divine assistance, knowing that Saint Anthony will answer their call in his own perfect timing. Now, let's unite our hearts and prayers with this powerful request. Saint Anthony, mighty and compassionate, I come before you today with a humble heart, seeking your guidance and intercession. You, who have worked countless miracles and restored hope to the hopeless, I place my trust in you today, believing in your power to bring resolution and peace to my life. You have been a beacon of love and light for so many, and now I turn to you in my time of need, asking for your divine help in matters of the heart. Oh, Saint Anthony, you who understand the pain of longing and the ache of unrequited love, I ask you to hear my prayer. My heart is heavy, burdened by the uncertainties of love, by the feelings of being lost in a sea of confusion and doubt. Saint Anthony, I need your help to restore the love that seems distant, to bring back the affection, the attention, and the devotion of mentioned name. I trust that your heart is full of compassion for all who seek your aid, and so, with great faith, I ask for your intercession. You, who have brought back lost things, both material and spiritual, I ask that you help me to restore what has been lost in my life. I ask that you help me find the love I seek, not just the attention of mentioned name, but a love that is deep, true, and lasting. Guide me through the struggles I face, and help me overcome the doubts and fears that stand in my way. I pray that your intercession will bring peace and clarity to my heart and to the heart of the person I love. May the divine light of your Spirit fill both of us with understanding, patience, and the willingness to embrace the love that is meant for us. Saint Anthony, I ask you to bind, mention name, to me with love and devotion, not out of selfishness, but out of a pure desire to build a strong, healthy, and harmonious relationship. Bind their thoughts, their mind, and their will with the strength of your divine intervention. As I tie each knot in this prayer, I ask that you grant me the power to overcome the obstacles in our relationship and to bring us closer together in understanding, respect, and love. Let no doubt or fear stand in the way of the connection that is meant to be. Please, Saint Anthony, help me to have patience, to trust in the process, and to wait for the right moment when love will flourish. I understand that love takes time to grow and that relationships require effort and faith. I ask for the strength to be patient and the wisdom to know when to act and when to wait. Help me to remain grounded in love, to nurture this relationship with kindness and respect, and to trust that your guidance will lead me to the right path. Saint Anthony, you who are a patron of those who are lost, I also ask for your help in finding my way through the confusion that clouds my heart. Help me to understand the true meaning of love, to see beyond the surface, and to recognize the depth of affection and connection that I seek. Allow me to recognize when to let go of past hurts, misunderstandings, or fears that have held me back from fully embracing love. Open my heart, Saint Anthony, to give and receive love freely and without hesitation. I pray for the healing of any wounds that may have been caused by misunderstanding, conflict, or separation. Let the healing power of your grace restore harmony between us. Saint Anthony, I ask that you soften the hearts of both, mention name, and mine, that we may open ourselves to each other in a new way, with fresh eyes and an open heart. Let the barriers that stand between us crumble, and allow love to blossom freely between us, as it was always meant to be, Saint Anthony. I also ask for your guidance in overcoming the challenges that come with love and relationships. Help me to navigate the difficulties with wisdom, understanding, and grace. Guide me through the tough moments when emotions are high and patience is low. Teach me how to communicate openly and honestly, how to listen with compassion, and how to forgive when necessary. Help me to remember that love is not always perfect, but that it is always worth fighting for when it is real and true. Saint Anthony, in addition to healing the wounds of love, I ask for your assistance in bringing clarity to my own heart. There are moments of doubt, times when I question my own feelings and intentions. Please help me to see clearly, to understand my own heart and the desires that lie within it. Guide me as I seek to understand not just what I want from love, but what I am willing to give in return. Help me to be the partner, friend, and lover that I know I am capable of being, and lead me to a place of peace and fulfillment in my relationship. Finally, Saint Anthony, I ask you to watch over both of us. Protect us from harm, both physically and emotionally. Guide us away from negativity, jealousy, and misunderstandings. Keep our hearts open to one another, and let love flourish in the presence of your grace. May our relationship be one of mutual respect, trust, and joy, and may we always turn to you for guidance and strength when challenges arise. I trust in your power, Saint Anthony, and I place my faith in your hands. I know that with your help, love will triumph over all obstacles. I thank you for your unwavering support and intercession, and I believe with all my heart that the love I seek will come to fruition in divine time. Amen. Saint Anthony, I come before you today with a heart full of hope, faith, and a deep desire for your divine intercession. You who have worked miracles for so many who have walked this path before me. I trust in your ability to guide my heart, heal my relationships, and bring the love and peace I seek. I lay before you all my worries, fears, and uncertainties, knowing that you hear every prayer and see every burden that weighs on my heart. I ask for your divine mercy and intervention, and I place my trust completely in you. You, who have been a light in the darkness for countless souls, please bring your light into my life. Illuminate the path before me, especially in matters of love and relationships. Help me to trust in the process and to know that I am never alone. Even in my moments of doubt and despair, guide me through each day with the strength and patience I need to persevere, and let your grace empower me to overcome every obstacle that may stand in the way of true love. Saint Anthony, please help me to cultivate patience and understanding, to wait for the right moments and not to rush the process of love. Help me to have the courage to face any challenges that come my way, and the wisdom to know that love is a journey, not a destination. Teach me to love with an open heart, to forgive past hurts, and to move forward with a spirit of peace and humility. I also ask that you heal any wounds that may be lingering in my heart. Saint Anthony, sometimes love can be painful, and I find myself hurt by past experiences or by the actions of others. Please help me to let go of any bitterness, jealousy, or regret that may be holding me back. Grant me the strength to move forward with a heart free from pain, ready to receive love in its purest form. Saint Anthony, I ask that you help me overcome the confusion and doubts that cloud my thoughts. Please give me the clarity to see the truth in my heart and to trust the direction you are leading me. If there are obstacles or misunderstandings between me and mentioned name, I ask that you help clear them away and restore peace and harmony between us. Bring both of us closer together in understanding, trust, and mutual affection. Let love flow freely between us, unburdened by past mistakes or misunderstandings. I place my desires in your hands, Saint Anthony, knowing that your guidance will lead me to the outcome that is best for my happiness and well-being. Whether the path forward leads me to a deeper connection with mentioned name, or helps me to grow in ways I cannot yet see, I trust that you will guide me toward the fulfillment of my heart's longing. I know that your divine will is always working for my greater good, and I have faith that you will answer my prayers in the best way possible. Thank you, Saint Anthony, for your loving care, your protection, and your unfailing intercession. I am grateful for your constant presence in my life and for your willingness to help me in my time of need. I know that I am not alone in my struggles, for you walk beside me every step of the way. Please continue to guide me and intercede on my behalf, bringing my heart's deepest desires into the light of divine fulfillment. I offer this prayer in faith, in love, and in trust. I place my heart, my hopes, and my love before you, Saint Anthony, asking that you watch over me, protect me, and bring peace and fulfillment into my life. Amen.